So I have been waiting to get up for the last hour. It's around 8:30 now. I don't have to use that today. Yay. I just have to pack everything up um by around 11, so in a couple of hours. And then no, I don't have to pack up till 12. And then obviously, I'm leaving this place, so little kitty on the windowsill over there just staring out, but yeah, this was just a temporary place. And then we're going to go back to a house which has just been renovated. I like this house more. It's more peaceful. I mean, it's quiet here. I like the new paint, no renovation problems in this house. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's so much more relaxing. But yeah, unfortunately, I am currently going back to the house with the renovation issues. I'm considering buying myself a computer so I can do this work from home position that I got. Um, just gonna buy a laptop if I do, considering buying the most expensive laptop I've ever had just to see if it's any better. But I might take a browse on the internet to see if I can buy similar computers for cheaper. Because I don't like to spend that much money, but I think with ZipPay or something, you just pay $12 a week over many, many years. So I think that might be the way that I buy my computer. Um, I wanted to buy some sunglasses, but I didn't get the job where you get paid for shopping for sunglasses, and I'm like, but I was gonna buy myself some expensive sunglasses and really cool. So um, but I think I need to go to the store to try on sunglasses because I have no idea what size fits my face. I mean, I could just ambiguously buy a a size off the internet, but it might be too big, it might be too small. So, so I'm not really keen on doing it that way. I want to go down to the sunglasses, so I might do that in December. Buy myself an expensive pair of sunglasses just for fun. I know where the places are now, so I have it bookmarked on my computer, on my phone actually. Um, and I want to get Polaroid sunglasses. I've already got sunglasses that were so much cheaper, but they're in storage. But I might be bringing my storage out, or I might be moving to my own place. I'm not keen on renting. I hate renting, so it would make a little more sense to bring my storage out to the country or go rent until I buy my own place. But I'm never 100% certain what I'm doing, really, so I feel like life is really unfair, actually. And I know that my relative got to live in their house and then rent it with ease, but for me, it's like, oh, you have to pay $150,000 to exchange from living to renting. So it's I feel like I just don't know the ins and outs and what companies you can do that with and all this other stuff. So I feel like I'm always on the because I'm not sure where I want to live. I sort of think I want to live up here. I want to live back where I was living before. Um, or sometimes I think I don't really care. I just want a freaking house which is gonna just sit there and I can live in it and have little to no weather issues. So, unfortunately, whenever I buy a house, I get a weather issue really quickly. And so I'm like thinking, everyone else in my family but me can buy a house and they live in it. Except for my parent in the country at the moment. I'm just waiting for that tornado to come. And then it's like, oh my gosh, it's a country. My house is ruined. Help me pay for more. I don't want to be told to help pay for more so they can afford more of their house. So, I'm not really keen on that aspect. Um, but since they're getting lots of renovations, they already said I should be paying like $100 a week. And obviously, if their house is in trouble and they need to, pay for more house insurance or anything else, they're going to be like, oh, you have to help pay me. You have to help pay for my house for me. And I'm like, I don't really want to be in that position where I'm sort of asked that. I mean, because obviously I'm not going to be able to fork out thousands of dollars so that they can pay. That's something that they refused me, and I lost when I was growing up, and I don't really want to fork out thousands of dollars so that they can float in their place. So, I personally lost millions, and they're gonna lose like, I know their house costs around 700,000 or 650. So, oh no, that's how much they sold their other house for. Their house cost 450. So, but that's still a big wedge of money. But yeah, I feel really sad when I talk to myself about my own housing experiences because every time I buy a house, a cyclone comes way around in the first 2 weeks. And so already my house insurance is tripled. And everyone's like, it's not like you just need to pay for your mortgage and stuff. It's like that house insurance is just robbing me of the opportunity to own my own house. And sometimes I think like people in their system are just hiking and hiking up my house insurance and expecting me to pay more to an abnormal level. I feel like everyone else must be paying more like $250, and here I am paying like $3,000-$4,000 a week to insure my house, and I'm like, that's unfair, and and a lot of things are unfair. I was robbed of $1 million. Someone snitched $1 million, ran off with it, said they didn't have it, said they spent it, and guess what? They don't have to pay me back anything. And that's like a court decision. It's like, okay, court decide, oh, you really don't have much proof. Oh, what we're going to do is just leave it as stolen money. Like, just leave it as it is because you don't really have any proof and stuff like that. I had a witness to back me up, but they were like, they're not really much of a credible witness because they're an innate liar and their character is a little, off-putting and this and that. They can say whatever they like, but they had no wish to investigate any loss of any monies, and I was like, that's unfair. I mean, that's a freaking $1 million. And there's no proof that they actually put it towards a house or anything. So, literally, like, I lost $1 million right there. So, but anyway, from other people, like, even when I did a movie and it was okay and I was paid, the government just snitched it right out of my bank account. And don't ask me where they put it. And then they've staged this fake abduction so that they feel justified that I have to pay ransomers a couple $1 million for ransom. And then they're like, oh, let's just go back to the back of this courthouse. Oh, look, your dad's here. It's like, okay, so we're just taking your money then, because after having legally stage this because we're like the courts and we can take your money because we're smart enough to stage this, and we can own the courts, and we could tell you what to do, like pay a ransom even though there's 5 people in your family and there's people in South America who self-proclaim themselves as millionaires, and they're like going, but screw all the other people, we just want your money, the one that you got for this apparent movie. So, you know, um it was that heavily swayed, and it's like they're just interested in snitching your money. And I was like, that's freaking $2 million. Like I didn't just deserve that. I'd gone through sort of a little portion of it, hell in a way, to just to be on a premises where I am, you know, being filmed, but just to be on there, it's like I deserved that kind of money. I mean, I deserve to be on the payroll. I deserve to get commission for them just wanting to distribute the movie in the first place. But since, I wasn't supposed to be there, they're just giving me a couple $1 million for a cut. And I'm like, I think I deserve that. I think that's better than just not getting anything for going through whatever I went through. And it's like, I think I'd rather like have the $2 million and not have it. And they're like, oh, we don't want you to have it, so we'll just snitch it. And then they were like, okay, well, you can make more money, and then you'll have your money again. And it's like, and I'm like, that's freaking unfair, and then when I did this movie, someone screwed around with the camera, lost original film footage. I think it was though digitally filmed. I do think that they did have some of the footage still on the camera because it was that particular camera where it seemed to be digital and film. So, but anyway, and then Payday, and my modeling company has suddenly, rearranged my banking details online as if I had input them incorrectly. I never input that kind of information incorrectly. And I'm like, and so, conveniently, my banking details have suddenly changed to incorrect. And then I'm asked, oh, just hurry up and read over this. We just want to check. And, ambiguously, the number near the end of one digit is actually wrong. It's like an 8 instead of a 0. And I didn't pick that up. And so, there's like $8 or $10 million being sent to someone else's bank account. And they're like, oh, we'll just leave it as that. We'll leave with this other person with the money, because I apparently met them and they were like so much prettier than I was. And they're like, oh, let's just let them keep the money. And then they were like, oh, let's film this again. And then they're like, we don't want you on the set though. We don't want to film you again. And then I'm like, okay, I'll just leave. And so I never got any cut for any of that. And I'm still going through like a portion of, movies are kind of high risk, and I'm still putting myself through all this crap. And then it's like at the end, oh, sorry, we want other people to have your money instead of you, and stuff like that. So once again, oh, how much is this $8 or $10 million not getting to me for any reason? And I'm like, that's unfair. And this is like just consistent unfairness. I'm sure if I was like someone else, they'd be like having no problems, but because it's me, it's like consistently like, that's unfair too. And I'm like, that's freaking unfair. So anyway, unfortunately, I don't have renewed money after many, 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 many years of living with crappy family who don't really especially like you or don't really want you around. But I do live without them too, but sometimes, but then I lose all my money because I don't know, things are expensive and I spend it. And I'm like, that's unfair. Just spend your whole life just knowing who you know, and you're like, that's crap. I mean, no one even likes you. I mean, they would have, they want to drop you like so many times, and it's like, and all you want to do is scream and run out the door, and not come back, and then it's like money, money, money issues. You gotta come back sooner or later if you don't have the money. And I'm like, that's so unfair. And no one else in my family has spent so much in house insurance as I did. So I'm just like being robbed of all my housing opportunities. And it's like, oh, that's okay. You can just earn more money and buy another house. Oh, that's okay. When you got enough money, you won't have any problems with this kind of insurance. And so it's like, I still feel like I'm sort of like being treated unfairly, and it's especially designed for me because people don't like me, and I'm not like the social in club, and like ever since like I was young, it's like everyone like instinctively kind of hates you, and it's like you got little, and so I think I'm on this lever where it's like, oh, let's just charge you triple and quadruple, and like you're being charged that so they can make it cheaper for other people. So that's the reason why they charge you so much. So that their best friends and relatives and people they like can actually get the cheaper deal. And it's like, oh, that's okay. You're a rich person. You're like a millionaire, and you're like, you'll always have money because you can do movies and things. It's like, I haven't done one successful movie, let alone be paid for it. And then everyone's like, oh, that's okay. Like, your house costs, so and so millions of dollars, and so you can afford more. And I was like, no, you can't. So, and even like, I've even bought the cheapest house, and same thing, it's going up 500, not 1,500. It's like, and everyone's like, that's okay. You're not an average person. Like, the average person is someone who earns 90 or 120 grand a year, and they work in an office, and they really can't afford that. And you, who doesn't hardly earn money, who gets, little bits of money every now and again, oh, you can afford, $2 million housing, and you can afford $5,000 a week insurance, and you can afford, all this and that. And it's like, oh, that's okay. We'll just leave you. My family goes, we'll just leave you to your house because you're going to be okay. And then it's like, oh, fork out money for other relatives except for you. And everyone's like, oh, that's okay. You live on money. Oh, you're gonna like always do movies even though you haven't actually been in one. And then it's like, and stuff like that. So, I feel really bad that, you know, nothing is as expensive for other people than it is for me, and I'm like not the person earning the more money. So I think that's unfair. And even if I did, it's like I don't really see why I have to pay double and triple for anything. So it's like, once again, I feel like everyone's not not anyone but me is paying that much. I'm like, that's unfair. So